Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schultz. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to share with you my recipe and technique for making a chocolate and cherry scone. Scones are fantastic. They can be savory, they can be sweet, and there is thousands of ways and combinations of ingredients in which you can put in them. Join me now as I show you how to make an amazing scone. In our standing mixing bowl, we have added the pastry flour, baking powder, baking soda, sugar, and some kosher salt. You could use all-purpose flour, but I find that using pastry flour will yield you a lighter and flakier dough. Let's go ahead and stir it for about 30 seconds on the lowest speed. Now that our dry ingredients have mixed thoroughly, stop our mixer and let's go ahead and add some of the butter. You want the butter to be cold. Cold butter will yield you flakier dough. So let's go ahead and pulse it real quick. Add in some more butter. So now that we've been mixing for about 3 minutes on low speed, let's go ahead and slowly add our heavy cream. Then we'll add our vanilla. And we want to mix this just until the dough comes together, and it should start sticking to the paddle. Our dough is sticking to the paddle, so now let's go ahead and turn it down to low, and let's go ahead and add our macerated cherries. And then let's add our chocolate. And let's go ahead and mix this just until it incorporates. Feel free to scrape the sides a little and then scrape off of your paddle. Just looking to get everything thoroughly mixed. Well, now that our dough is mixed, let's go ahead and scrape our bowl and transfer the dough to a floured workspace. And now I want to work it around a little bit. The dough is going to be really sticky, so this extra flour is going to help you keep it from getting really messy. So now what I do is I will roll it into a 6x9 little log or 6x9 little block. And now that I have my shape I'm looking for and my dimensions, let us go ahead and now transfer this to plastic wrap. Wrap it tightly, and then we will put it into the refrigerator for at least 2 to 4 hours. Overnight is even a little more preferred. Well, here we are the next day with our dough nice and cold and firm. I have the workspace a little bit floured just to keep from sticking. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut this into the portions and shapes that we want. My recommendation is using a pastry cutter, or sometimes in the industry we refer to it as called the bicycle. Now you can get these with 3 wheels, 5 wheels, 6 and 7 wheels. You can even get a 12-wheel one that has 6 regular straight cut wheels on this side like this, and then the other side will have 6 fluted ones. And it is adjustable right here. You have a wing nut that'll lock it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use 4 of our wheels. We want to cut it into thirds. So what I like to do is take it out as wide as you can to minimize the amount of waste, and then go ahead and lock it with the wing nut. And then gently score your dough, and then I will work it back and forth. Now that we have the 3 cut, go ahead and turn it perpendicular. I will then readjust it. Well, now that we have our rectangles cut, what I like to do is now cut them into triangles. You could leave them this size if you wanted, but I wanted to make a little more of a mini scone, so it's a little more for snacking. Alternative ways to cutting the scone dough: you could use a cookie cutter, round ones or whatever shape you like. You could even use, like a biscuit cutter with a little handle on the top. So the choice is yours, just depending on what your vision is and how you want to see them. Now, these are going to be our portions. From here, let's transfer them to a sheet pan lined with a silpat or parchment paper. Well, now that we have our portions spread out on our sheet pan lined with silpat, we'll go ahead and take our pastry brush and go ahead and brush the tops with heavy cream. In case you're wondering what my pastry brush is, this is actually a pastry brush made with goose feathers. It's my favorite one. I got this back in Hungary many years ago, and just will never part with it, I guess. Well, now we've got our scones brushed. Let's go ahead and add some crystal sugar. It's different than granulated sugar. It's a larger crystal, and it's used as garnish. This will add a little additional sweetener and also will not dissolve during the baking process. So let's put a little on top of each one, and then put the tray into a preheated oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 25 to 28 minutes or so. Well, there you have my chocolate and cherry scones. There are different ways that you could do the step before the baking. Once you brush the heavy cream onto the top of this dough and sprinkle with your garnishing, your crystal sugar, you can actually put them back to the freezer for about an hour. I come to find that when you put the scone dough into the oven in the frozen state, the scone scone will keep its shape a little better. If you were to pull it as we did, and we brushed it, sugared, and then went straight to the oven, you will experience a little bit of blowout. The sides will kind of push out a little on it. Nothing horrible, but if you want to maintain a nice tight edge and also keep the height of the scone established, I recommend freezing before going to the oven. As I mentioned, there are many, many variations you could do for a scone. You could do savory ones as well, bacon and cheddar, bacon and spinach, an onion, whatever. feel free to get creative with it and have fun with them. Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope you give scones a try at home. If you do, please let me know and try my recipe and see what your thoughts are on it. If you've not done so, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Be up to date on all of our latest posts. Thank you for joining.